Yeah.
I don't understand. He was their best goalie on a first-place team at 25 years old.
Right.
Better than the other two goalies that they had to navigate as well.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll give up our best goalie, and all we want back is a late third. This is a Vegas Golden Knights third pick.
Right.
This is basically a fourth-round draft choice. And Bernier, who's a free agent, I don't know that he even plays in Carolina. I mean, we'll see. They have to work out a contract. Right. So you gave up basically a fourth-round pick for a starting 25-year-old goalie in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Bernier was really good here. I got no problems with him. And if this wouldn't have happened, him coming if he came back, I'd be okay with that. No problem. This is not about Jonathan Bernier.
Bernier would have been a Band-Aid. He's an older goalie.
Exactly.
He would have been a bridge guy.
And if they kept Bernier, you could sit there and say, all right, Jim Costa says we need to draft a goalie. Let's draft this kid.
See, guys, I understand it from the Carolina perspective, and at least in terms of you have cap ramifications. I mean, that is why they did this. They did not want to pay him.
Yeah, but it's even less.
I know, but I'm trying to. My point what I want to get to is what they got in return, and I think there's two reasons why. Number one, goalie value in the league is at an all-time low, right?
Yeah.
It's just the position is not as valued as it used to be, and then number two, I think a sign of the times in sports, analytics, size.
Right. I said he's a smaller goalie.
I know, but I'm trying to make it's ridiculous what Carolina got in return. That's the thing. It's I can get the move from them. I get what they're doing. I don't believe in it. I think it's ridiculous. I believe with everything that you guys said, the heist and everything. But I understand why they moved him in today's sports world. I don't get what they got in return.
But they have three goalies.
Yes.
I don't want to talk too much about the Carolina Hurricanes.
I know I'm going to break down the net miners for the Hurricanes.
They have three basically restricted free agents.
Turn right onto West Huron Street.
Yeah, so they're fine. They might lose more than one. Especially if they keep Bernier.
Yeah.
But if they sign him,
you have to.
Yeah.
And you can't keep three.
No, I know. But
this is why Steve Yzerman is the guy.
Yeah.
Am I saying he's going to win a championship? I don't know. It comes with a luck, You're seeing the dividends pay off after he left Tampa, where they could have won even more cups. But the guy, I mean, he sits in the weeds. It's amazing what he gave up nothing. I was listening to Mike, and they gave up nothing because they gave up the Vegas pick,
right?
And free agent.
Well, think about this too. Yzerman's other trade this offseason, the Leddy trade, they didn't give up their own pick either. They had extra seconds, extra thirds. What did they do? They turned it into a top pair defenseman. Presumably they're starting goalie this year. I mean, with just scraps that they just collected over time.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the actual Tatar. This is from the Thomas Tatar trade, really. So basically, Ken Holland started that, right? So they traded Thomas Tatar to Vegas for a first-round pick in 2018, a second-round pick in 2019, and the third-round pick from this year's draft. And they got the third-round pick is already turned into Nedeljkovic.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
It's interesting with this move and then the Leddy move. It's telling me that, okay, this is not the best goal-scoring team in the league by far, but perhaps they're going to try to win low-scoring games next year and actually compete for the playoffs.
Yeah, possibly. And in fact, I was watching the press conference, and there's a good chance we'll talk about Yzerman next week. But as far as the draft coming up, that's what the focus is going to be on offense, is what everybody's suggesting. But then again, by the time these guys play in the NHL, who the hell knows?
Well, but my point is compete defensively.
Yes.
And try to, yuck up a season and then get into the playoffs and you're a defensive team and you win ugly games perhaps. While the offense is getting seasoned.
Right, which actually is what they did towards the latter part of the season last year with their compete. The defense did improve, which is probably one of the reasons Flash is still here.
I think it's the biggest reason because you look at Yzerman's own personal playing career, he would score 40, 50 goals. They didn't win a damn thing. When he started scoring a few fewer, started playing a little better defensively, starts receiving Selke Award votes, the Red Wings started winning playoff games and Stanley Cup. So I do think he believes in playing defense, and I do think their improvement on that side is wide.
It's like that's the thing with the NHL. You get in the playoffs and you can defend and you have a goalie. You can make a run. Canadians did it.
Yeah. Enough of us waxing poetic about the new goalie. Let's hear what what Steve Yzerman has to say about him.
Well, obviously we have high hopes for Alex based on his performance this year in Carolina. Younger guy, with who we feel has a lot of upside. So yeah, again, we're pretty excited about it. He did very well this year. Everyone in our organization is familiar with him from his local ties, playing junior and whatnot. So we know his character, his work ethic, his competitiveness, and watching him play this year, we thought that was a good opportunity to get somewhat of a younger goaltender with still some upside and can help us win more games.
There you go. There's your answer right there. They got a top-flight goaltender. Not necessarily a Vezina goaltender, but a top-flight goaltender. Our telephone number, 248-539-9797. Coming up next, the NFL just proved once again that they ain't effing around and never will. 97.1.
97.1, The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Henry Ford College. 275 northbound the ramp to southbound M5 scheduled to close for construction between 9 and 11 this morning. Then from 11 to 1, 275 northbound eastbound 96 ramp to northbound M5 will be closing also. Looking for a career-focused education in 2 years or less? At Henry Ford College, their 1-year and 2-year programs get you ready for big things. They also offer 4-year options like culinary school and dozens of transfer programs. Get ready for your future at Henry Ford College. Visit hfcc.edu. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
There are no sweeter sounds. Hear the game. All the play-by-play all season is on 97.1 The Ticket and the Odyssey app.
John Jansen here for Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Is your lease up before the end of the year, or maybe you can't find an exact vehicle you're looking for and are frustrated with the other guy's pricing? Well, look no further. Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has over 400 new vehicles in stock today, right now on the lot. The team at Southfield wants to help you with their easy plan-ahead lease program. You can reserve one of their new 1,600 vehicles that are being built right now. Don't wait any longer to find your next lease. Now is the time to do it. Just log on to SouthfieldChrysler.com and go see my friends Bill and Tim and the entire team over at Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to get started today. And don't miss out on the Make This the Summer event where you can lease a new 2021 Ram 1500 starting at only $369 a month. So whether you live in Plymouth, Ferndale, Milford, or Taylor, you're just a short drive or click away from the best car buying experience you're ever going to have. For more information, check them out online at SouthfieldChrysler.com. And remember, all roads in all towns lead to Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at 11.5 and Telegraph.
This Odyssey.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Northville Lumber.
This is Zach Gelb with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Josh Allen led Buffalo to the AFC Championship game last year and looks to be a top 5 QB for the foreseeable future. Lamar Jackson has already won the MVP and won his first playoff game last season. Baker Mayfield took the Browns not only to the playoffs for the first time since 2003, but delivered Cleveland its first playoff victory since 1995. All three of those QBs are about to embark on their 4th season in the NFL, and they're about to be paid the big bucks. If none of these 3 quarterbacks take a hometown discount, expect each QB to get paid at least $40 million a year, as that is what the market dictates. The question is, who blinks first between the Browns, Ravens, and Bills? Because whoever does means the price will only go up for the other 2 teams. Is there risk in these mega deals? Absolutely. But you better pay first and save, because I don't see how any of these 3 teams can justify moving on to someone else once these rookie contracts expire. I'm Zach Gelb.
For the ones standing guard, for the eagle-eyed, for the knights in shining armor, and for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attorney Joe Cordell. For many men, divorce brings a bewildering sense of loss. You feel adrift, isolated, like you're the only person in the world. But the good news is, you're not alone. Cordell & Cordell is here to help. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has been there to guide men through all aspects of divorce. And we'll be there for you.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Have you
you experience basement leaks, water is more than annoying. It can cause damage to your home and foundation. It starts at your roofline and can collect around your home, causing a mess in your basement or crawl space. Call Foundation Systems of Michigan. We are experts in managing water around your home. From gutters to waterproofing solutions, we have a full line of products to put an end to your water problems for good.
The Rolling Stones, No Filter, this fall. Sponsored by Alliance for Lifetime Income. November 15th, Ford Field. The world's greatest rock and roll band. Get tickets now at rollingstones.com. Produced by Concerts West and AEG presents The Stones. Get tickets now.
If you've ever hired someone to maintain your lawn, you know it can be a crapshoot. So many of these small companies are unreliable, and frankly, they don't do a very good job. You should hire Miller Landscape. They'll maintain and proactively manage all your landscape needs, from mowing and pruning to flowers, fertilization, even your sprinklers. Miller can give you that amazing backyard kitchen or patio you've always wanted. You hear Mike Valenti talk about how great they are. Go to getmillernow.com. That's getmillernow.com.
Switching season is back at WOW. Get super fast, extra reliable Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, ask how to get $200 on us. Sign up at wowie.com today. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Get amped for big games with the best tracks from rock and more. Troy Hughes Stadium Anthems, the new Odyssey exclusive station. Get it on the Odyssey app today. The Detroit Tigers play the Kansas City Royals. Pre-game tonight at 7:50 on 97.1 The Ticket. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
I saw this thing on MLB.com. Imagine this in a baseball game, guys. In one game, 43 runs, 28 hits, 31 walks, 6 hit batsmen, 8 wild pitches, 2 balks, 14 errors. That took place in the Dominican Summer League game. Seattle's team against the Yankees team. 22-21, no home, 1 home run. 1 home run, 43.
The way you were talking about it, are they still playing it? Because it sounds like that game would never end.
The National Football League came out with a strong statement yesterday, didn't they, Jimmy?
Yeah, they did. And here's the deal. The message is clear. Not getting vaccinated, it's going to have consequences for the upcoming season. Nobody wants games impacted or even canceled, Stoney. I think we can both say that.
Yes.
They issued a memo to teams saying if a game is unable to be played, they will not reschedule it. And if the outbreak is from unvaccinated players, they would be responsible for any lost revenue. The players won't get paid for that week's games if they're the reason the game doesn't get played.
And I believe either team, right?
Both teams' players would lose their weekly game checks if unvaccinated players lead to games being canceled.
I think that part's a little over the line.
You would just do it with the team that's the offending team.
Yeah.
I think their point is
get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated. Don't mess around. Don't mess with our money. If these owners are saying, we don't want to have games canceled because it doesn't much matter to me if it's the Buccaneers or the Cowboys that caused the game to be canceled. Neither team's playing the game, and neither team's getting the revenue, and neither fan base is satisfied.
And the player reaction, some of it was really good.
Yeah.
Right? Well, DeAndre Hopkins tweeted something, and he was like basically hinting that he would retire rather than have a vaccine.
You play this game and you get bashed in the head. They shoot you up with whoever knows what to get you back out there, and you're not going to take a vaccine that has doctors that have studied this.
That's the hill you're going to die on. You willingly will go in to get your head bashed in, CTE, break bones, all this kind of stuff. You know, you will allow, like you said, to be shot up so you can play, where trainers can say, you're not really that hurt.
Here's some Toradol, get back in there.
Yes, that's okay. But a vaccine that is proven to know it's not going to stop COVID, but it basically prevents major hospitalizations of it, that is the hill you're going to die on? Look, if you don't think it has anything to do with, well, you just tell me what to do. I mean, that's what it is.
Well, the NFL has said.
In most cases, look, if you have there's a medical reason, no problem.
Right. Talk to your doctor, figure out if it's obviously something that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
But Stoney, the NFL has been very clear. We aren't mandating a vaccine, but there are consequences to not being vaccinated.
Right.
And your actions impact others, whether you want them to or not. And I think that's been a tough realization for people in the last year. Your actions impact other people.
Right. Technically, we're not mandating, but we are mandating, right? That's what they're doing.
Well, there's all kinds of perks if you do get vaccinated. In other words, you don't have to be tested as rigorously. You can go out when you're on the road. There won't be a level of scrutiny on you if you're a vaccinated NFL player.
Right. Look, I'm not going to sit there and tell people what they should do. I mean, I think I've made my opinion pretty clear that I think it's the right thing to do for everyone, unless you have religious or medical reasons. But you know, the NFL, and if you don't like what the NFL's doing, you know, go find another league. Go find something else to do. This is big business. And your employers, okay, in this case, the National Football League, and in our case, our employer, Odyssey, you know, John Odyssey, who sits on his throne, I mean, they're radio stations, you have to have separate entrances and things. Still, if there are people in this building who are not vaccinated, they have to wear masks. Okay? That's the freedom of the employer. Okay? They can do it. They can set their own ground rules, their own work rules. And if you don't like it, tough. Then they do something else. And nobody's forcing you to get a vaccine.
No. And if you're curious exactly how big a deal this is, we're a week out from training camp for most teams. And there are only 14 teams that have 85% of their players vaccinated. This is according to USA Today in the last day. Most teams aren't at the 85% threshold, meaning this is still going to be a problem for the league moving forward.
Yes, and you want, as a team, to be able to prepare for the season, to prepare week to week. You want your players in the same meeting rooms. You want, you don't have to worry about if you're not vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to get tested every day.
Yeah, so this is what they have. And the NFL has incentivized getting the vaccine by establishing protocols that permit vaccinated players to operate freely in team facilities, away from the headquarters, whatever. Unvaccinated players still must adhere to strict protocols, can't leave their rooms for meals while on road trips, among other restrictions.
Right.
So they're making this very clear. We won't tell you to get it, but you're going to be restricted. And if something goes wrong, you will be held financially responsible for ruining the league's game that was scheduled that day.
And don't be surprised if you see other leagues do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, college football, you see the same thing there. Most of these, even places like Alabama, okay, where their state vaccination rate is really, really low. That football team is pretty damn vaxxed up.
And Michigan, too. I mean, Harbaugh came out and said they're in the 90%. Yes. Trying to get everybody vaccinated on the team. You see what Michael Irvin said this week, former Dallas Cowboy. He told Beasley, well, he's like, if you want to win, you'll get vaccinated. He's like, I'm not making this a left or a right issue. I'm not making this a pro or anti-vax issue. Right. You're a football player. You want to win football games. You want to have your teammates healthy. You want to play every single game. I mean, he couldn't be more blunt about it. I couldn't agree with him anymore.
Yes. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. You think the NFL has overstepped its bounds? You agree with them? It's their league. They can do whatever the hell they want as long as there's, it's been negotiated with the Players Association. I saw someone, I think it was Matthew Judon, who played at Grand Valley, West Bloomfield High School, go Lakers. He said that our NFLPA is a joke. Is basically what he said. And look, there are players who don't want to get vaccinated who have said at the Players Association they're agreeing to allow this to happen.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins yesterday, when he threatened retirement and he deleted it, that's one thing. And he deleted it because he knew he overreacted.
Yeah.
Okay. But then his other tweet was freedom? Question mark?
Yeah.
And I think that's the core thing here, guys. I'm with you guys on this, my opinion, but you do have a choice.
You do. You don't have to get the shot. You could be fine.
Our country is about freedom. And take the politics out of it, and just like Michael Irvin said, take it out, and it's about winning to get it. Well, the other side is take that out of it, and it's about freedom in our country. That's what our country's based on.
But it's not freedom without consequences for your actions. That's the reality of this. You don't get vaccinated, you're at greater risk. You don't get vaccinated, you're at greater risk of missing missing the games.
But
Other players pay the
consequences. The no payment thing, the other players were like, well, it's just like last year, and we all agreed to it. So what's the big deal?
248-539-9797. Don't forget, still ahead, Robin Williams is our actor of the week. We'll figure out his best role coming up at the 7:35-97.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by YC Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Brought to you by Miller Landscape. The hottest team in baseball? Of course, it's the Tigers. They're doing it in front of their fans at Comerica Park. 7 straight victories at home to begin the second half. They sweep away the Rangers, who have now lost 9 straight. 7-5 the final score during the day matchup yesterday. More bombs. Home runs from Eric Haas, Zach Short again, and Victor Reyes out of the 9th spot. And Haas is loving doing it in front of the fans.
It's awesome. I mean, it seems like the last just couple weeks, the crowd's really been getting into it again. It's awesome to feel like, we're putting a good product in the field. People are starting to get excited about it. It seems like the better we play, the better the crowds, keep coming out. So, thanks to the fans. They've been making it really fun.
Also, 2 more swipes during the game. The Tigers have now stolen 61 bases, tied for the most in the American League with Kansas City. Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh speaking at Big Ten Media Day from Indianapolis and highlighting the importance of returning the Wolverines to greatness again, stating they're going to beat their rivals OSU and Michigan State or, quote, die trying. The Wings trade for talented goalie Alex Nedeljkovic, sending Carolina a 3rd-rounder in the deal, also extending the contract of center Michael Rasmussen. Stevie will look to put his magic touch on the draft this evening, which has Detroit picking 6th overall. And the Olympics will officially be underway tonight, opening ceremony set in Tokyo, Japan. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. Looks like we're going to have some weather situations during the next few days.
I'm so sick of these weather situations.
I know.
Yeah, we're calling them that. Stoney just did, so I ran with it.
Because you never know. Because in some places you're going to get rain, some places you won't, some places you're going to get thunderstorms, and some places you're not. And Mojo's house will get flooded again.
In both scenarios.
Yes.
In every scenario.
Exactly. Don't forget, you can vote on our Twitter poll for the mural at the Motor City Casino with our buddies from FanDuel. Earlier this week, we chose, you guys actually selected one moment from each of the 4 professional teams to go on the mural at Motor City Casino. And we've found no Final Four here, so you can vote all weekend, I believe. Tigers win the World Series in 1984. Bad Boys win the title in 89. Wings win the Cup in 97. And Barry runs for 3,000 yards, 1 from each team. It's like, as expected, recency bias takes place. And I have no problem with that right now. So make your vote. All right. We have some ticket tips. Stoney, the difference in these players know what they're getting into, getting their heads bashed in a game. They don't know what they're getting the vaccine. Well, yes and no. You know if you believe, and that's a big question, these statistics that are going on right now throughout this country, that vaccinations will prevent you from hospitalization. It will not prevent you completely from COVID. I mentioned former Fox Sports Detroit legend Ryan Field. He's in New York now, and he was double vaxxed, and he still got COVID. But the doctors told him, his doctors told him, if he wasn't vaccinated, he would have been in major trouble. My only concern is false positives. Otherwise, I don't care. Yeah, you're going to get tested. That's true. But it's a major outbreak. You're not going to have a major outbreak based on false positives.
You're not getting the game canceled from a few false positives. You're getting the game canceled if you have a group of people who aren't vaccinated, who legitimately get COVID, and then the game doesn't get played. That's what the NFL, and by the way, fans should get behind this too. Nobody wants games canceled. Nobody wants the star quarterback or the star defensive player to miss the game.
It's a false equivalency. Drugs and medicine to help injury are different than a completely healed person taking a vaccine preventative. Making that leap is flawed. By the way, I do believe in the vaccine, but stop comparing it to a medicine designed to aid injury versus prevention. I understand what you're saying with that, But to me, it's just weird that they're going on this hill to die on some of the players.
Do you think they know it's a Toradol shot? Do you think they know it's some of these cocktails that they're given to deal with pain?
No. Employers all over this country, especially hospitals, are firing people for not getting the vaccine. The NFL is a private company, so if you want to play stupid games, win stupid prizes, pack your stuff, fine. You know, that's really stupid. Tim and Clark's. Mind your own business. Worry about yourself. I don't need a vaccination speech every morning. Not kidding you.
We're talking about the NFL,
the National Football
biggest sports entity in this country, saying we don't want our game. We don't want last year. We don't want any of these issues with games. And here's our policy. Just to give it to people again, if the game is forfeited due to unvaccinated players, it counts as a loss for the team, and both sets of players don't get paid. They're not messing around.
Yeah, my vaccination speech, the only thing that bothers me is people don't look at this, what's going on around the country right now. It's like it's not going to prevent COVID. Yeah, nobody said it would. That's my point. Bob and Lapeer, you're 97 on the ticket.
Yeah, hi Mike. I'm in the car, so if it's a little hard to hear me. I just think that it's a half-witted statement they put out. Really, it's not the vaccine; it's the antibody you're trying to get into the people. You can get that multiple ways, as you well know. You can get that through vaccines or naturally. And it's just typical of the NFL, and I think it's totally half-witted and not, I don't even know where they come up with this stuff. And then the not pay stuff, I believe that players have contracts, so I believe you would have some lawsuits. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know on this, but I would guess that you could have some issues with just coming out of nowhere and saying, well, we're not going to pay you. Because they can reschedule if they want to, and they can test for antibodies, and all those things are there for them. So,
if the players, if there's no game, the players don't get paid, and the owners don't get paid either.
They choose, but the owners, they're choosing not to play the game.
No, the players are unavailable.
No, wait a second. They're choosing not to play the game. They are saying that if I get 4 guys with COVID, they're going to make the choice and say, sorry, we're not playing the game. You can eliminate those people from the game. You can reschedule the game. But they're making that choice. And I don't think since there's contracts with all these guys, specific contracts, I don't think it would fly.
I think it would, because they get paid by the game.
Right,
so if the game is canceled, no matter who cancels the game.
And Stoney, they're not canceling it for 4 players.
No.
They're talking about a situation where 25 guys in a contagious virus causes them to miss the whole offensive line. Guess what? We're not playing the game. And if it's your fault, your team's fault, nobody gets paid.
Now, excuse me if I missed this, guys, but what happens if vaccinated players test positive?
So what I was reading, and I can double check this, they're not going to be as harsh. And that's been left open to interpretation, but I don't believe everyone's going to lose money to the same degree.
I think
the forfeitures?
Well, if the game's not played, right? I mean, someone has to win, someone has to lose.
Well, why not do what they did last year, though? And they made it work with some ridiculous schedule changes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's slippery slope.
It's a very slippery slope. And the one thing that I don't like what the NFL's doing is, let's say the Lions are playing the Packers, and the Packers have, an outbreak of 15 guys. The game gets forfeited. Why should the Lions, I know they're not playing the game, but why should the Lions be penalized for that?
Well, here's the statement, Tom, to your question. It says, in the memo, quote, if a club cannot play due to a COVID spike in vaccinated individuals, we will attempt to minimize the competitive and economic burden on both teams. Very vague, no real explanation for what that means.
So let's put the SOL factor into this. So 49ers at Rams, January 9th, 2022, last regular season game. 49ers have an outbreak, Rams win, hurts the Lions pick.
Stafford goes to the playoffs.
But Stoney, I think to your point that you were mentioning, why should the Lions be punished? Why should the team that's not at fault be punished? I think what that dangerously does is it could create a wedge, I think particularly between vaccinated players and unvaccinated players.
Of course.
And, giving, quote, more power to ownership to basically bust the union like that.
Right. But that's the union's problem. I agree. That's why people don't love the Players Association. against a weak-ass.
I mean, listen, this is a league that's awarded championships on strike seasons. So seasons are tainted, okay? I mean, the 87 season, you had scabs play. You had 3 games decided by fake players. So there's been a lot more tainted seasons than this.
That's for sure. 248-539-9797. That is the telephone number. Look, like I said, it would be much easier if everybody just got the vaccine. You can't force people to get a vaccine. But a workplace can force working conditions, especially if it's negotiated.
We've all been vaccinated. Every person on the show has been. And I think sometimes we need to take a step back and respect the long-term thing here. Like there's a lot of people that aren't anti-vaxxers. We work with some that haven't gotten it because they're concerned about the long-term thing. And, we willingly are going along with that. Well, we don't know. There is an unknown here that I think you have to respect.
Yeah, the whole COVID's an unknown.
All right, we don't know what's going to happen. I still have concerns about is this thing going to morph into something worse? We don't know. And my frustration here long term is that we are getting in that window now, almost 18 months, where's the vaccine that's really a vaccine that's really strong against this, It's like there was supposed to be the development of something super long term here. By the way, I don't hear anything about that. It's so hard to get real information.
By the way, we're watching the opening ceremonies live from Tokyo.
Someone running on a treadmill?
Somebody's running on a treadmill that is moving.
I think we need to be able to hear it to understand why, because there was also people on stationary bikes. I think there's a narrative going on that we're missing.
There's some lights and sounds.
It's the training for the Olympics.
It's a montage.
Yes, exactly. All right, 248-539-9797. Heather has news coming up next.
I have so many stories, and there's one I have to talk about because it's absolutely hilarious. It's one that you have to watch, but I'm going to describe it, and then hopefully everyone will go check it out online because hopefully you'll laugh as hard as I did.
All right. We need some laughs.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about vaccines. As summer heats up, so does the sports betting action at BetMGM. Sign up now using the bonus code STONY, and your first wager is totally risk-free, up to $600. Place your bets on all the exciting showdowns in Major League Baseball, MLS, and more sports from around the globe. When you register with BetMGM, you also get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials on big games. From breathtaking goals to colossal home runs, the king of sportsbooks takes every pitch to a new level of excitement. Simply download the BetMGM app today. Go to BetMGM.com and enter the bonus code STONY to get back up to $600 on your very first wager. With BetMGM, you're just a few taps away from turning game time into showtime. New customer offer, paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older, Michigan only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Starting to see some areas with scattered rainfall this morning. At this time, there is an accident now affecting the right side of 96 eastbound just after Milford Road. You can see a little bit of a slowdown approaching that area. Delays continue as you head into the emergency road repairs on 75 both directions approaching Big Beaver and Troy. Also a little bit slow through the work zone on 275 between South Huron Road and 94. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today.
Getting the COVID-19 vaccine is your shot to win. Michiganders 18 and older vaccinated between December 1st, 2020 and July 30th, 2021 are now eligible to win millions in prizes. Get details and enter at mishottowin.com. Subject to sweepstakes rules.
If you're in the market for a vehicle, you need to come see what we can do for you during our Make This the Summer event at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. My friends Bill Gowling here telling qualified Chrysler employees that you can lease a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4 for just $249 a month. This is for 24 months, 10,000 miles or with $2,000 down. So come see us. I think you'll really enjoy your experience of shopping and doing business with us here at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Gowling.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. If you haven't refinanced your mortgage in 2021, you need to call Hall Financial right now to see if you qualify for our no appraisal 8-day close. Call 248-308-5000 or check us out online at callhallfirst.com. You could be saving hundreds of dollars a month by calling Hall Financial today. That's 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Callhallfirst.com.
Hall Financial, NMLS ID 1467435. Equal housing lender.
Heard you're buying a car. I brought my calculator.
Dad, I already used Capital One Auto Navigator. I found my car online and got pre-qualified instantly. Instead of all that.
You know those things impact your credit score.
Didn't impact my credit score, Dad. Now I'm going to the dealership for a test drive and to make the purchase.
Sounds too easy.
No, it's just easy. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/autonavigator.
How can I make sure my office never stops working?
With Staples Connect, it's possible. I need to keep my back office stocked without messing up my bottom line. Also possible because Staples Connect has your small business covered with big savings on everything you need to get work done. This week, earn 30% back in a Staples store bonus when you buy any 2 ink cartridges, including HP. Explore what's new at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Limit 4, in-store only. Visit staplesconnect.com/store bonus for details and 724.
What makes the perfect workout? Being able to ride, lift, and stretch in one place with motivating instructors.
Y'all look so good out there, Peloton.
Classes that always work around your busy summer schedule.
Push Peloton, you got 20 minutes of opportunity on this ride.
Instructor-curated playlists for every mood.
Let's turn it up, come on.
Now what if you had it all? Ride at home. The Peloton bike. Nothing like working out from home. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. How do you keep a workout fresh every day?
Clap it up, Peloton, let's do this.
By getting everything from endurance rides to restorative yoga, all right at home. The Peloton bike. Nothing like working out from home. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
A couple of tweets on our Twitter deal about what we were talking about. Frequent tweeter MCO527. Under the current NFL rules, vaccinated players will be much more likely to get COVID and pass along to others since they get tested less and can do whatever they want. I don't think more, but it is possible that, like I said, people who have been vaccinated have gotten COVID.
Or mild versions of it.
Yes. And also, Jimmy says, I 100% support DeAndre Hopkins and any player that pushes against this medical tyranny. The fact that these teams are still testing for COVID is a joke, but I expect nothing less from the NFL. I'll be rooting for this to blow up in their face. Testing for COVID. It's like the whole the antibodies argument was...
I mean, the caller who said, well, it's just about having the antibodies. Well, you can get it from the vaccine or COVID. Do you want to sign up to get COVID? I don't get it.
We don't know anything enough about the vaccine to get it, but you know enough about COVID? I don't know. Whatever. Let's go on to other stuff.
All right.
What about the microchips?
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm going to tell you about something else the CDC now has their eye on. It's another health issue. There's a superbug fungus spreading in hospitals and nursing homes in 2 cities, and this is according to health officials. So this superbug outbreak was reported in Washington, D.C., in nursing homes there, and at 2 Dallas area hospitals. And U.S. health officials say that this fungus is basically untreatable. Not in everybody, but it's untreatable, and it's being spread from person to person. So this fungus is a harmful form of yeast, and it's considered dangerous to hospitals and nursing home patients with serious medical problems. And it's most deadly when it enters the bloodstream, the heart, or the brain. And like I said, it can be spread from patient to patient contact or on contaminated surfaces. So just one more thing going around, especially one thing that you don't want to be in a nursing home or a hospital where people have compromised immune systems. In Washington, D.C., there's been a cluster of 101 cases. And then in the Texas area, the Dallas area, there's been 22 cases. So 5 people of all of those did not respond to any treatment. So there's no way that they can be treated for this fungus. 3 people have passed away after contracting it. So there you go.
Are these nursing home numbers accurate?
Oh.
Jeez. I'm
Tom from the top rope, yeah.
After the tragic deaths of 3 Michigan men at Faster Horses, country music singer Luke Combs has quietly stepped in to pay their funeral expenses. This is so nice. Dawson Brown, Cole Sova, and Richie Mays Jr. were all found dead at a campground near the festival. We've talked about this. They suffered from carbon monoxide poisoning, and it's so devastating. A publicist for Luke Combs confirmed that he did pay for their funerals, but just said, he didn't want to make any further comments. So he did this quietly. He wasn't really looking for any recognition, just wanted to share his generosity and his income and help these families in any way that could be helped. And these families, I mean, I've been reading about these 3 guys. I've been seeing so much stuff on social media, and it, like I said before, it just feels like these were 3 guys that I could have been friends with when I was their age, when I was 20 years old. Just looked like my friends, and you read about them, and it's so sad. The community has stepped up to also help these families who are struggling. There's still 2 guys that are fighting for their lives as well in the hospital. So there is a GoFundMe page set up. They've raised about $60,000 so far. All right, so it appears that 3 states are driving the pandemic right now. Florida, Missouri, and Texas now account for 40% of new coronavirus cases in the U.S. 40%, that's huge. Florida alone accounts for 20% of all new cases nationally. And when it comes to those that are being affected, virtually all hospitalizations and deaths at about 97% are among unvaccinated people. Obviously, there are a few of those cases, these breakthrough cases, where fully vaccinated people can still get the infection. They can still contract COVID, but they do tend to experience only mild COVID illnesses or no symptoms at all.
I'm not commenting on vaccines the rest of the day.
We don't need to talk about vaccines. Let's talk about the Mighty Duck star, Shaun Weiss. Gosh, you remember him?
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember the last time he came up in the news when I saw his mugshot.
He was Goldberg the goalie, right?
Yes. I couldn't even recognize him because he looked so unhealthy, and he's been struggling with addiction for years. Well, you guys, it sounds like he is actually starting to turn his life around and get his life together. He has successfully finished a court-ordered drug program, and he actually entered the program back in March of 2020 after getting busted on a burglary charge. And now the DA's office is saying that he has demonstrated perseverance during his recovery, which has been complicated, obviously, by the pandemic, and that he's also regained employment, and he's been traveling across the country making guest appearances and signing autographs, and he's doing so well, and he's had so much success. His burglary case has been dismissed. And I saw a photo of him now, and he's looking so much better, much more healthy.
You saw some of the old photos.
I wouldn't have even been able to recognize him if I saw him on the street.
No, so I mean, that's awesome news. I mean, anytime you get a story like that where someone picks themselves up, cleans themselves up, that's big.
Because he was like almost on death's door.
Without a doubt, he was not doing well. Okay, this next story is absolutely hysterical. This is one I'm going to tell you about, and then I'm going to encourage you to go online and check it out yourself. There was a viral video. I watched this over and over, and I swear the more you watch it, the better it gets. So it's one you have to watch multiple times. Well, there was 2 girls. They were on one of those slingshot rides, like amusement park rides in New Jersey. You know that ride, right?
Yeah.
Like, you basically sit down in these chairs. You're kind of in a cage, not super enclosed, and then you kind of get flung into the air, and then you come back down, like a slingshot, basically. Well, just as this ride is taking off, one of the girls was actually hit in the face by a seagull. Okay, it's totally unexpected.
I've seen this video. Stoney, have you seen this?
Oh my gosh!
I just hit play right now.
The bird gets stuck to her neck for a second, and that's what's so great. And her friend next to her had no idea this was going on, completely unaware that there was a seagull.
Her neck is stuck.
Stuck to this girl's neck.
It honestly makes me think, should this happen more often with birds flying around? But I don't know.
I don't know, but but she eventually was able to like fling the seagull off, and she got on her way. But afterward, after the ride, she did discuss what it was like to have this seagull stuck to her neck.
I waited until we spun over, and then I quickly took it off of me. It was going to hurt me. The seagull just flew away, and the only thing that happened to me was a little tiny cut. That was all. It just happened so quick.
The seagull's only on her neck for maybe 3 seconds.
Yeah, it is. It's very quick, but that's why I watched it over and over, because like just her reaction and her girlfriend, who had zero idea that was going on, just screaming still. I can't imagine that happening. It had to have had a pretty big impact. I mean, she's moving fast, the seagull's moving quickly. Quite terrifying, I'm sure.
I hope that seagull was actually. Oh, sorry.
I don't get hurt as badly as Fabio did.
Fabio had a seagull to the neck?
Fabio was riding a roller coaster. This was back in the 90s, but Fabio was riding a roller coaster and got his face smashed by a pigeon.
Is there a video of that?
What?
Yeah, here's the video.
There's
there's video.
Picture.
I've never heard that story.
It's from 99. You can Google it.
I'll check that out after and have a good laugh as well. That sounds
Now, Jim, did you know who Fabio was before?
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's called Fabio versus the Goose.
Oh my gosh. So maybe this does happen more than we realize.
I think birds are in the air, roller coasters are in the air. It's bound to happen.
I know.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
Like Randy Johnson and that bird.
Exactly.
Bound to happen.
You guys, a man showed up at the wrong house for a party, and he ended up being busted for a DUI. So there was this man in upstate New York, and he was on his way to a party on Monday, but somehow he had the wrong address, showed up at the wrong place, and then he just wouldn't leave. And it was clear that he had a lot to pre-drink before the party. And when the homeowner told him, "Hey, man, there's no party going on here. Please leave my property," he got belligerent. He refused to leave. Are you watching Fabio?
Well, you don't. Unless I'm not saying you see the results, you never see him getting hit, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
that
yeah.
would be, you'd have to have somebody with a 99 with a camera phone.
But
They didn't have the drones back then.
But it's funny because you see them go up, and you see him, just kind of back down, and his face is bloody.
Oh, it's all bloody?
Yes.
Oh, he got injured. Oh my, did he have his hair down or in a ponytail?
Down.
Oh, good. I'll have to go check it out.
I didn't think we'd be talking about Fabio this morning, but hey.
You can see it better if you use your BlackBerry.
Anyway, the homeowners called the cops on this dude, and he was arrested for drunk driving. So
see, if he would have had a mask on during the thing, he wouldn't have gotten hurt as bad.
Oh, Stoney. Hey, there's a South Carolina fisherman that got really excited when, he thought he caught this big fish. He felt that tug at the end of his line. He's like, dude, this is going to be awesome.
I picture John Jansen.
So do I.
So excited.
And just thinking he's going to reel in a real big one. Well, his excitement quickly faded when he reeled in an iPhone.
Oh.
Yeah, an old iPhone. He was pretty bummed, but he decided, you know what, I'll just keep this in my boat, continue on my fishing journey. And then afterward, he's like, you know what, I got to do the right thing. I've got to find the owner of this iPhone,
Right.
which,
yeah.
I mean, it no longer is going to work anymore, but okay. But what he found, though, is that the cover on the iPhone actually had a really cute photo of a couple together. So he thought, I'm going to take a picture of the phone cover and post it on Facebook and try to find the owner of this iPhone. And within 5 minutes of this photo being posted, the original owner was tracked down. The power of social media. It's pretty crazy. And apparently the phone had been in the water for about 8 months. And they're going to return it. The guy the couple says that they're so excited to get this old photo back, and they're going to frame it. They're going to frame that old phone.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so cute.
Big sentimental.
Yeah, it's very sentimental.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I can't wait to go check out Fabio now.
All right. Coming up next, check out Fabio. And then we're going to talk about Robin Williams, the greatest role he ever had. Who's that for? There's so many.
All right, you guys, it's time to talk about your hair. What is your hair doing these days? Is it all there? Is it thinning? Is it bothering you? Is it making you self-conscious? Well, the thing is you don't million grafts. And I'm telling you, he is the surgeon that you can trust to not only restore your hair, but also your confidence. He is going to make you feel so great about yourself. And the best part about Dr. B is that he provides the most advanced hair restoration techniques available. And he is really going to work specifically with you to determine the procedure that will get you the results that you want to achieve. Now, if you want to get to know a little bit more about some of those procedures, you can go and download his book. That's right, he's got a book. It's called No Hair. That's KNOW Hair, and it's a whole comprehensive guide to all things hair restoration. And it's available right now on MichiganHairRestoration.com. Now, guys, if you're feeling a little self-conscious, this is the part you don't want to miss. For a limited time, Dr. B is actually offering 97.1 The Ticket listeners $1,000 off retail price. Plus, he's going to give you 0% financing on your hair restoration procedure. I'm telling you, this is an amazing deal, and you don't want to miss out on it. It really is the perfect time to schedule your appointment at MichiganHairRestoration.com. And remember to take advantage of Dr. B's limited time offer. Just tell him Heather sent you.
Bank, brokerage, or insurance company trying to sell you an annuity? Don't do it. They have very limited access to the highest rates available. You need solutions, not someone pitching you a product. Join Joe Uplegger for the Save Money and Income radio show right here on The Ticket, Sundays from 7 to 8 a.m.
The international games are back, and Greektown Casino is going for the win. Catch all the excitement at the Barstool Sportsbook as the USA athletes compete for all the glory. Watch all your favorite events on 25 HD TVs and 30-foot video wall, and wager on one of the 40 betting kiosks or online on the Barstool Sportsbook app. There are so many reasons to enjoy the 2021 games at Greektown Casino. So grab your friends and get in on all the action at Greektown's Barstool Sportsbook. Problem gambling? Call 270-7117. After 100 years of working in, living in, and supporting communities across America, Lowe's understands firsthand the promise of possibility. As part of its centennial celebration, Lowe's is committed to giving back to 100 communities across America. After receiving thousands of submissions, Lowe's has announced the 100 hometowns where it hopes to make an impact. And maybe along the way, inspire others in the community to give back too. Visit Lowe's.com/100hometowns to learn more.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized all day. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't give up.
This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app and listen to 97.1 The Ticket and all the sports.
460 East Frank Street. Arrived.
Samuelson Studio. Here's Stoney and Jansen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as you know, every Friday we do a little exercise where we determine the best role of a particular actor or actress. I wasn't here last week when we did Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've done let's list them all. We've done De Niro, DiCaprio, Sandra Bullock, Harrison, the Toms, Hanks and Cruise, and up.